Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Reading with Infinity. We're going to be doing the mid-year book wrap-up tag. I said that right? I did say that right. So we're going to get started because it's been a while. It's been like 3 months since I made a video. I did make videos, I just haven't had time to edit because I've been focusing on my other YouTube channel, which is not about books. So hopefully this is gonna be what I need to get back into it. So yeah, we're gonna go get started. I wrote everything down so I wasn't confused going through this. It's like, got it here, and then I screenshotted the books that I wanted so I knew what I was doing. So yeah, let's get started. First off, the first one is best book you've read in 2023 so far. I chose King of Pride by Anna Hung. I hope I'm saying her last name right. But yeah, that was my best book because I want to say that's one of the only 5 stars I've given this year. Like, I feel like it takes a lot for me to give 5 stars. So yeah, I had to go look some of these up because that is the only 5 stars I've given this year. Yeah. Next, best sequel you've read so far in 2023. I'm not gonna lie, don't delete. This was kind of hard because I wasn't sure what qualified as a sequel, but I just went with the second book in a series, since technically that's a sequel to the first one because you had to write the first one to write the second one. That's just my logic. I went with Sinners Condemned by Psalm Sketcher. I hope I'm saying that right too. Yeah, I went with that one. Oh my god. I think when I read that, I had just found this Sinners series, the Sinners Anonymous series, and I was like, how could nobody have ever put me onto this? Like, normally I find my books through Book Talk, but this hadn't come across my Book Talk until, like, I guess not when it came out, but like towards when people was like teasing like the new book that's getting ready to come out. Actually, I don't know when the book comes out, but it took a while for it to pop up on, like, for it to be popular and other people to read it. It took a while for it to pop up on my Book Talk. God, I can't talk. Okay, moving on. Oh God, I can't talk. New release you haven't read yet but want to. Oh my god, so I didn't want to finish this series, so I've been putting off reading this book for so long, and I have to rebuy the paperbacks because they don't match. Is The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. Like, sorry, I sit next to my bookcase. They don't match. That's another reason I've been putting off reading them. I'm so upset that they don't match. This is why I don't buy series until they're complete. Because come to think of it, yeah, this is literally the only series that does not match. Like, don't fall. Oh my god, I'm going down. Like, this series, I waited until she released all the discrete covers to buy all of them. So they do match. Ooh. Don't fall. Oh my god. Okay. Well. Okay. Next, we're gonna go to most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So it is currently July 8th. My most anticipated read is King of Greed by Anna Hung, because obviously I love her at this point. Like, I have so many of her books. I did actually buy, like, I know I just said I put off buying series, but at the time when this came out, I bought it immediately. This is the only book I have, but I'm gonna put off until she puts out the whole series so I don't have any mismatched books, because at that point, if I have mismatched books, I think I'm gonna donate the ones that don't match my series to the nearest library, which is currently the one on Post. And buy the other series, and I don't want to keep wasting my money because I'm not rich. So hopefully when the rest of the series does come out, they do match. Ooh. Oh, God, I can't put it back. I never understand how people can buy one series that has different versions, but I do think they are pretty. Like, take for example, I'm getting sidetracked. This series, I want the discreet covers, but I had already bought the covers with the men on them. Will I buy them? Eventually, because I want them. But in the meantime, those sit on my shelves because I'm a big fan of the discreet covers and not so much with the men on them. Back on topic, biggest surprise. I want to say my biggest surprise this year was reading Tempting Little Thief by Megan Brandy. I love her. Anyways, when I put two and two together, reading it and realized this was the brother of one of the Brayshaw girls, I was like, oh my God, the overlap. But then I read his sister first before I read his. But in reality, his came before his sister's. So yeah, that was the biggest surprise read. Next. Favorite new author debut, or this is new to me. Again, this is a different book from a series I've already mentioned, but the author was new to me this year, and it is Psalm Sketcher. I chose Sinners Anonymous, the first one. Yeah. Okay. Newest fictional crush. I know this should be like a good romance girly, like a sweet romance girly, but I live for some dark romance, so it is Tyson Crawford from The Sacrifice by Chantel Tessier. I hope I'm saying that right. I can never pronounce people's names right, nor do I remember them. I suck at that. Okay, a book that made me cry. And this was hard because at one point I was so good at labeling my books on Goodreads, but I really haven't been doing it in a while. Like, I haven't been reviewing any of them on Goodreads. I've just been tagging them read and, like, to meet the challenge requirement. Like, so I can keep marking them off on my challenge, but I have not been reviewing them. I have not been marking them in my little subcategories. Like, I suck lately on Goodreads. Hopefully I'll get back into that, but yeah. In the meantime, this book that made me cry this year was Corrupted Chaos by Shane. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Shane Rose. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That made me cry. I'm not gonna lie, I read that a while ago. So that took me a while to find a book that made me cry, because most of mine are dark romances. So they occasionally made me shed a tear. A tear, but that's when I had to look for. And then a book that made you happy. Again, this should be a happy, sweet, maybe hockey romance, something like A Grumpy Sunshine. Not Kindle sending me a notification. Yeah. This one should have been a happy-go-lucky romance. It was not. It was, again, a dark romance by an author who I hadn't actually read any. Like, their books don't normally be dark romance, at least not to me. So when I found it, I was like, I like this author. Let me go see how they write a dark romance. And it was Gorgeous Prince by Charity Farrell. The most beautiful book I bought this year was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I got this from a bookstore in Ghent in Belgium. And the bookstore is called Books and Booze. It's literally right next to Graffiti Street. So if you're ever in Ghent and you're in Belgium, definitely go. They have a bunch of other classics that I do plan on going and getting. This book was €35. So in the bookstore, it's called Books and Booze. So for every book, there is a bottle of alcohol. You can choose to buy the book, you can choose to buy the book and the alcohol, or you just choose to buy the alcohol. I chose to just buy the book. The guy who owns the store is really nice, really helpful. He'll give you, if you don't want the specific one that's already paired with it, he'll ask you what you like to pair it with the book that goes with it. Yeah, but in the meantime, this was honestly my favorite book. It is so pretty. Like, look at this. Get into it. This matches none of the books on my bookshelf, so yeah. It currently does not sit on my bookshelf because it doesn't match. Last but not least, what books do I need to read by the end of this year? I have so many books that can fall in this category because I literally just bought a bunch of books from the Stuff Your Kindle Day that was on June 30th, which I'm probably gonna make a video about that because I bought, like, they were free. I bought them for $0. I bought like 113 or 115. I bought so many. I read one the other day and I need to write a review because, yeah. So first up, of books I need to read by the end of the year, Wrecked by Lauren Asher. I have read literally every other, God, I can't talk. I have read literally every other book in that series but the third book. I did not read them in order. I read book 2, then book 4, then book 1. Now I'll read book 3 eventually, whenever I get to it. Next is Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. I did read the first one, and I did buy the first one because it's right here on my shelf. But yeah, it's been sitting on my to-read list for a while. Next, we have Liars and Liaisons by Sav R. Miller. I have read all of her books except for The Vipers. I think book 2. Like the ones in this Muse and Monsters and Muse series. I've read all of them except book 2, but this is the new one that just dropped maybe this month or last month. I think it's this month, no, it's July. God, it's July. It dropped last month. It dropped in June, I believe. And then The Sinner by Chantel Tessier. I've literally read every other book in this dark, interconnected standalone series. The Sinner, The Sacrifice, what's the other one? Anyway, it don't matter. I've read them all except for this one. And ironically, I opened this one first and then read the other ones beforehand. This next one I've seen over Book Talk. I have not read it. I have opened it because I checked it out on Kindle Unlimited, but I have not read it. Is The Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. A hockey romance. Which is weird because I read a hockey romance the other day. Like 2 days ago. Or was that last night? I don't know. It was like 2 days ago. I read, it was a book by Claire she's new to me. Claire I cannot say her last name. It's probably simple as I don't know what, and I just don't want to butcher it, so I don't even want to say it in the first place. It's the Until I Get You. It's the dark hockey romance. And then last but not least, another book I need to read before the end of the year is Wretch by Emily McIntyre. I believe I read book 1 and book 2 in this series, but I have not caught all the way up, and I feel like she's on book 5 or book 6 now. So yeah, hopefully I catch up on the entire series, but just for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna set goals too high because I get distracted on Kindle Unlimited. Like I'll finish a book and check out another one and just read that one instead of reading the other 19 I have checked out. So yeah, we're gonna go for 1 book, hopefully a series, but 1 book. Yeah. And that's the end of my mid-year book wrap-up tag. Bruh, the way I say this title and I sound so confused is so bad. Okay, yeah. That's the end, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you do like, what you don't like. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Peace out, Scout. I gotta stop doing that. I don't think that's how you do that. Well, somebody gonna learn today? Let me stop.